also today. So here's the Big 12 schedule. I think you spend a couple of days, and yes, we'll still look at things over the week. We'll have guests on today to talk about games that we've seen, games that we're about to see. But this is the Big 12 schedule. Friday night, Kansas will play Illinois in a nice test. Also, of course, the game that morning on Saturday, you have Texas, Alabama, and then Utah and Baylor. Robert Griffin III will be here to broadcast a part of that broadcast. And then you have Oregon, Texas Tech. So those are games we've been waiting for really throughout the offseason. And then the Tech loss and the Baylor loss takes a little bit of that, glamour off those games, but still important. There's the rest of it. SMU, Oklahoma, Cincinnati coming off an impressive opening win. We'll play at Pitt. Iowa State, whatever that score, what's the over-under? Probably take the under, although 6. Iowa scored like 24 or whatever it was last week, and Iowa State with a nice win.
They did not. They have to average over 25, though.
Yeah, I know. I know. So and UCF and Boise State is intriguing. And down the list, K-State, of course, at home. Oklahoma State, Arizona State, the future Big 12 matchup. Houston, Rice in a Battle of Houston. TCU, perfect, you would think, opponent to bounce back after the loss to Colorado. Brigham Young, Southern Utah, and then Duquesne. I always have loved to say that name, Duquesne, against West Virginia in Morgantown.
I think Kansas and Illinois on Friday is a very intriguing game. Those are two conflicting styles there. Illinois is about being physical and punching you in the mouth, and Kansas is about let's go, 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 go.
Right.
Texas and Alabama is going to be just fascinating. I mean, it's just going to be fascinating to see what Texas has done since last year, how much different they might be against Alabama. Alabama, the talk has been about the quarterback. And look, I know they played Middle Tennessee State and won like 56-7 or whatever it was. But Jalen Milroe's got he's got some talent. And you don't just want, that's the thing that, and I'm probably guilty of this too. You discount a lot of things when you're like, well, Alabama doesn't have, a quarterback that they know for sure is they don't have Bryce Young walking in the door again this year.
Right.
They don't have those guys. But we forget that, you don't just show up and start for Nick Saban. I mean, even Bryce Young had to earn his job. Even Tua had to earn his job. All those guys, Mac Jones, the line, they had to earn it. And they were even invited to be part of that program because they are the best of the best. So if somebody from year one as a guy who wasn't expected to play and looks really raw but athletic to year two looks better with the best coach in the history of the world coaching him, that should not be a surprise to us.
Right.
And that one's really intriguing. Yes, the blue is probably off Baylor and Utah a little bit because of what happened. But again, things change in college football week to week. I don't want to be too negative on that. Texas Tech, to me, might be one of the cases, and it's rare, of a team that played their trap game in game number 1. Because they were very hyped.
On the road.
On the road at Wyoming.
At night.
No way for those guys to really know how good Wyoming would be.
But you say that, Paul, they were up at what point? One time, 14 or 17-0? So it's not like they were flat.
Yeah. No, they weren't, but they also weren't. Texas Tech is not going to win games 20-10 most of the time with that offense. They're supposed to win games, in the 30s. That's their plan.
If they were flat, they would have looked like Baylor on Saturday.
Yeah.
And that's not fair against Texas State, but they jumped out to a quick lead. Shuck had a nice start. Did they maybe then take a deep breath? I don't know. Did they say, okay, this is going to be 48-10? I don't know, but I don't know if they were flat because they started well.
Yeah. And then, they get themselves in a dogfight and they weren't ready for it. And I don't know, but it has not changed that game's only changed my mind slightly about how Oregon's going to be because now you've got Texas Tech against the ropes a little bit trying to prove who they are in year 2. And it's still in Lubbock. In a place full of, drunk Red Raider fans are going to be loud as all get out. And, they still have who they have. I still think that game is going to be, it is. Sometimes I think games can be outliers and we'll see over the length of the season. I think for this Texas Tech team, that game's going to wind up being an outlier. Juxtapose that to Baylor and Texas State. I'm very concerned it's not going to be.
No, that might be who they are. And, of course, they have Utah. Yesterday, Kyle Whittingham. Whittingham was on the show with us on 365 Sports. So first of all, I want to say hi to